That's why until today I tell people, be proud of yourself when you pick up this hobby, because this hobby is not for the weak people. Sorry I said, I had to be very blunt.
Welcome to I Know a Guy. I'm Gerald, and this show is all about meeting interesting people doing interesting things. Today I'm in M Workshop, and I have with me Bernard and Calvin. Bernard is pretty much, I would say, the operations, the heart that keeps this shop going, and Calvin, he's the artist, the person who makes everything look good. Also the heart, and also I'll say the soul as well. It's very hard to put labels on the people from what I've learned about Calvin so far, but I think for people who do not know about them, maybe I'd love to maybe you can give me a small introduction about yourself, Bernard.
Yeah, so I'm Bernard, the creator of M Workshop.
Okay.
M Workshop has been around for 23 years, since 2002. I started as an instructor in a hobby shop, other hobby shop, and then slowly,
snowballed onto this.
Yeah.
How long have you been in business already?
23 years.
23 years, in 2025. And how do you meet Calvin? With a good story earlier.
Yeah, the story was the day that I wanted to give up the hobby. And I've been searching for him for many years, waiting for him in a lot of model shop to appear. He didn't appear until the day that I decided to give up, and then he appeared, and then that's the new story, the new journey begins. He guided me a lot on the art of this whole hobby, and it's where I found that although I am not talented, but my hard work actually creates results. Yeah. That's why from my side, I know the agony of people who are not talented but hoping to achieve something. Yeah, that's maybe my strength
I've heard how Bernard got into the hobby, but I've never heard how Calvin got into the hobby.
So for me, basically, I was young. I was babysitted by my grandmother on
father or mother?
Father's side. Paternal side. Yeah. So there was this hobby shop. It's still around today. It's called Morgan Hobbycraft, but now it's called Hobby Bounties. It's in Katong. So the shop has been around since the 70s.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah, correct. So anyway, this is a new owner. The previous owner was run by this lady, Jennifer. So Jennifer was good friend of my aunt. Where the current shop occupies, it used to be a laundry shop in the Katong. Yeah.
Okay.
And Morgan Hobbycraft was opposite. So my grandmother would go and visit her sister, alright, her younger sister, and I would drag along there. It's like, hey, a 3-year-old, 4-year-old kid, right? What's got no business doing in a laundry shop? So what happened? Obviously, go to the next door. It's like, stare at the showcase. So that I remember as a young kid, your man is so short, about a meter tall. Then you look at the huge showcase from ground to ceiling, right? And then all the kids down there, it's like, wow. And then you walk into the shop, wow, ceiling, wall to ceiling, wall to wall, you can see all the model kids. So you can see that was my playground. So never looked back since. Yeah. Okay. So that was my origin story.
And when you met Bernard in that dramatic story, what was your reaction actually?
To be honest, right, it's just like, okay, just a regular guy wants to know about stuff. Okay, I'll just share with him. I mean, to me, it's another bloke, but I never thought it would be life-changing for him. Yeah.
Do you all exchange phone numbers then? Last time no email.
Pages. Okay, so that's how old we are.
Our meeting place is in between us. He stays in Serangoon, I stay at Mokyo. We meet in between one coffee shop. That's always
Block 409.
Supper
spot.
Yeah, suppers, yeah.
So there's also another guy also. Let's live 2 blocks
Patrick,
down. 不是. What's the other guy name? Anyway, he do aircraft, I remember.
He do aircraft. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, he just because of that, sometimes we get him in. So yeah. Anyway, that's another story.
Okay. So back to Bernard. So when you think about model kits, right? Genre has Gundam. We call this a really art workshop. Do you initially think that this was considered art at the start?
Actually, from the start, right, I really tell people that this is an art. But there's a lot of different view, when people say, no, this is not art, even. But I don't care, I said, everybody has a different perspective of art. Yeah, so yes, this is art to me. It's a way of expression, it's a way of telling stories. Even a banana on the wall can be art. Why not this is not art?
What was the point when you realized that you could really define this as an art as opposed to a toy?
I think very important word is called the weathering.
Weathering.
When we do tanks, weathering is the one that tells the story of that subject. How much
has been
one-off paint, chipping, streaks, the terrain you went through, Vietnam War, this thing. So this is not a toy anymore. This is really something that you need to go deep into, studying of the history, the terrain, the background of the tank to create a proper work. When it comes to this whole hobby, I said you have to be a craftsman first. You know, be a craftsman to put things together. You have to be an engineer to solve a lot of problems during the process. You need to be an artist, put colors, beautiful colors, on the model. You know, be then you have to tell story. It's so much thing to learn just within one hobby. That's why until today I tell people, be proud of yourself when you pick up this hobby. Because this hobby is not for the weak people. Sorry I said, I had to be very blunt. I said, that's why when parents bring their kids who love modeling, I said, you must be proud of your kids because the kids didn't pick the easy way out, they didn't pick the blind box, they didn't pick the simple thing. And now everything is about fast result, everything. But when the young people start to do this, there must be a certain richer character in them that they want to create something. Yeah.
Do you feel the same way, Calvin?
Well, actually, you have asked a very loaded philosophical question. What is art?
Yes.
Right? Yeah, because it's subjective. So let's put it this way, okay? Maybe I'll just simplify the whole thing. We go to school, we learn a language, let's say for example English, right? And in every English class, you have to write reports, have to craft an email, craft all this. Let's say a report, right? Right, report has narration, you have beginning and end. You have basically a story in the report, but not exactly a story. You have basically a documentation of what has transpired. Now, if you read it, it can be very dry, okay, but it's very accurate. From morning, this time to this time, what happened, blah, 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 blah. Now, if you take that report, you can transform it into a novel. You add humanity, you incorporate humanity into the work. Then it becomes something very different altogether. You talk about human experiences. And then it becomes poetry, it becomes a song. It becomes something more than just an event. So as long as I said art, basically, right, if you were to have a very simplistic take on this, I can say simplistic take, would be basically as long as it arouses and stirs the human soul, the human spirit, it makes you go, wow, it makes your heart skips a beat. All right? Then I would say that has transitioned into art. Because if let's say you have a sensitivity armadillo, right? You look at it, no, it's not art for me, what? Right not? But on the other hand, if you listen to your favorite song, wow, this is an art, this is a piece of art. It may be different. So it works differently for other people.
Okay. Right. So you were saying it's very individualistic?
It is subjective, the thing. Right? At the end of the day, people have got to be respectful that everybody sees the world differently. Understand that we can disagree. But that doesn't mean you're wrong.
Okay.
Right?
That's true. That's a good way to actually look at it.
Yeah.
And when it comes to yourself, right, when you're specifically to modeling as art, what is the part that really speaks to you?
For me, it's about telling stories. A lot of people see me as this is art, everything. Well, that's them, the way they take it. For me, right, this modeling, right, basically, right, you look at it from a very philosophical view, okay? Now you take a model kit, for example, any model kit, right? You open it up, okay? Let's see if we can open it up. Anyone can open up. You see basically what you have. You see broken pieces.
Broken pieces.
On the fret. Okay? See
all the sprues.
All the sprues and all this. Now think of it as from a very philosophical perspective. All right? Okay? You take out any kit. Yeah, any kit. You see all these are all broken.
I call this pedo bear.
Pedo bear, correct. Okay. So you can see all these are all broken pieces. I see, but you look at it, the society also quite broken also.
Wow.
Correct.
Yes.
Especially in today's age.
We are so fragmented also.
Fragmented. But you see, with some love and attention and kindness, you can bring all these things together and make it whole. Yeah. And in a sense, like building a model kit, not just not an act of just putting something whole, but also you can think as a community, and that's what this enterprise is all about also. You also bring different people together, make them whole, and then bond them with the same love and passion for this particular hobby.
Okay.
So in a sense, as I said, it's magical. So for me, right, I see there's a lot of things that I love about it. It resonates with me on many dimensions. All right. On individually, when I do it, I just want to say, okay, it's just not just therapy, but at the same time, also what am I guided towards? Well, when I'm young, to be honest, I'm a medal hunter. I'll be very frank.
Meta hunter. Okay.
Medal hunter. That means going complex, you see, to really win. But after a while, you realize that is not really sustainable.
How come?
Because it's very taxing and you hate the process. Yeah. It's like you're working just for salary or bonus. Or bonus. And you find yourself taking a lot of shortcuts. Hey, no need to spend so much time lah. this one can shortcut this one, shortcut that one. I realized started to decay. And that's where I started to say, okay, never mind, let's forget about contests already. Let's enjoy the process and then create something that people like. Craft a wonderful experience. When people pick up the work, they can go, wow. Entertain, be an entertainer, bring delight, brighten someone's life with your own efforts and hands. And that's what the hobby is like. That's for me.
That's a very good point which I want to actually move into. For folks who do not know, Calvin is invited to a lot of international competitions to judge. Now that you mentioned that you were always in the chase for the medals, do you notice the entrants who mirrored your own journey as well?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize that?
Very simple. Because certain pieces of work, they are just created just for delight. Certain pieces are very loud and very aggressive. It's out to win. So the thing is, in contests, you can see it there. There are quieter pieces. Then you can see that the author did basically just had utter joy, pure unadulterated joy creating that piece. And then certain pieces, you say it's very aggressive. Wow, let's make it as impressive as possible. So that it will capture the judge's eyes and the audience. And that's what it's after. Not that it's wrong. There's nothing wrong in it. As I said, we can disagree, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. Because for them, I can see, because it's youth. This is one of the things about youth. Having gone through that period in life, right? I will say I'm also evolved to a different stage as well. So I totally understand where they are from. And I don't judge them. I know. In fact, I am also like this before. So I cannot say that you are doing it wrong. I say, okay, I understand. Enjoy the moment. But be aware that because I've gone through it, there's a high chance of getting a burnout. There's a high chance of getting burnout. Because once you start to lose the joy and your results do not meet your expectations, that's where the burnout comes in. Okay. So this is what they call that a caveat.
Caveat, a very big caveat.
Yeah.
They don't only realize only once you go through the process, saying what's next.
Yes.
I'll say. Bernard, how do you feel about this? Now that you have coached a lot of teams, I'm assuming based on our conversations through this, how do you ever experience this burnout?
A lot. I was organizing a lot of competition during my first 10 years of my business, and I was very burnt out. And then the year 2017, I went to Japan.
2017?
2017,
okay.
Yeah. I went to Japan with him. Shizuoka Hobby Show. That's where I went to heaven. I see the light. I see exactly why I love this hobby, because it is the biggest hobby show in the world. I think at least 20 to 30,000 display without competition. It was just a yearly gathering for hobbies, clubs to come together and celebrate what they finish over the year. And then, although we cannot, really talk to the Japanese, but I really feel the energy, that very powerful energy. And I decided to, bring that concept back to Singapore. That's why from then on, every month I organize community gathering.
Oh, okay. In the shop?
In this shop. Every month. I think this year itself, I organized the most. I organized more than 20 events to bring people together, let's say, to finish and not to be perfect, to learn and to share and to enjoy the hobby together. Because I said Singapore is so stressful. Why put more stress on your hobby? You don't pick a hobby and add stress to yourself, right? So that's why I say I use the word therapy. I want it to be like an art therapy to fellow modelers who a lot of people actually what they do, they have a lot of collection, and then they keep saying that they are not good enough, they dare not start this, dare not start that. That's why I start pushing them. I say
that's why they become more box collectors than model collectors.
So through my event, actually I really see a lot of people start to loosen up and enjoy the hobby from the other perspective.
You mentioned that you went to Shizuoka 2017. Who was the one who initiated the trip?
I was invited there actually. So
there's an Asian team.
Team Asia, that was okay. So 2016, there was a show in Penang. This was the Malaysian Hobby Show. Right? I was invited over to Penang by this gentleman called Ming. Yeah, Ming. So he runs a hobby shop there. So he started.
Is it still in operation?
Still doing very well.
Oh, what's the name of the store?
World Hobby Miniatures. Yeah. So he is actually the agent for AK Products over in Malaysia.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, went over. It was very well organized. Small show, but very intimate. A lot of Japanese, Koreans turned up. So we established some of the Asian connections in terms of what we have in the region, also from Thailand as well. Thailand as well. So
any Taiwanese?
Taiwanese, yes. Big is a big contingent of Taiwanese attended the show. So anyway, it was met with overwhelming support. So the next year, they would say, hey, why don't you go to Japan and have a table at the Shizuoka show exhibit, have representatives from Southeast Asia. All right, and then that's where we went. So we have a contingent from Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and then all went up, and then that's where we started this fellowship.
The journey.
So
pilgrimage.
so just to add on to what Bernard has said, the entire show was very remarkable because the first 3 days were just trade shows, so all traders. So you can see it's very corporate. All right, everybody in suit and ties, handing out business cards, forging deals, and so on and so forth. And then on the weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday, on Friday they opened it publicly for all the schools. And now Saturday and Sunday,
schools.
Yeah, for all the schools. So you see that all the young kids come in and they look at all the model kids and what's all about. And then Saturday and Sunday, it's open to public, and they have actually opened up one entire hall and dedicated the entire hall to invite all the clubs from all over Japan to exhibit their stuff there, and everybody all participated. It's like a
competition.
Potluck. No competition. So you have people from Hokkaido, all parts of Japan, right? From the north, from Hokkaido down to
Okinawa.
Hiroshima, Fukuoka, and all this, taking planes, driving hours.
Wait, how do you bring a plane with a model?
Some of them they drive, which is good. Some of them make sure that some of the displays are all detachable.
Okay.
And then you got multitude of stuff from
Modelers are
Gundam.
packing specialists.
Packing specialists.
So they have clubs, a lot of clubs. So there are a lot of seniors in those clubs. So they basically pack their stuff, took the effort, also at the risk of breakages, to bring their stuff that they have lovingly crafted over many months or even years to turn up at the show. So you can see it's literally a celebration of the hobby. So literally that's what the show is, a celebration of the hobby. Not so much in terms of the trade, which happened earlier, but much later in the show. So that basically, I think, changed Bernard's perspective for whole things. But there's no medal. Everybody just came together, had a good time, drinks and all this. It was an excuse to get out from the house. Right?
And the wife.
And family, basically family. Very just my
responsibilities.
vacation from the family, basically. Okay? Alright, so everybody had a good time. Everybody saw the newest releases from all the all the big manufacturers. That was a hobby themselves. So it's very unique because it's very uniquely Japanese.
I'm very surprised that you mentioned it was only in 2017 because that's like fairly recent in some ways.
No, but the show has been around for many
Or at least around 20 over years. 20
40
at
over
least
years,
40
40
years.
over
But only
40 years.
in 2017 that you two made the trip to
Yeah, because actually during the time before that, right? Actually, Japanese show can be very closed door.
yes.
It's a miracle that we actually have a Team Asia table.
The idea, the thing about the Shizuoka Hobby Show, right? It was that it was perceived as a trade show, which means unless you're going there to make deals, right, then you go up.
You buy brushes, paint.
No, you want to open up shop, you wholesale.
Shop, B2B.
B2B is a B2B. It's a B2B sort of what do you call that setup? Yeah, that as I said, they opened up for the clubs, and then after that, you can see it was a carnival.
Oh, very
So,
festive.
Festive, yes.
So now when we see 2017, right? Maybe go closer to Bernard. Do you think the model scene, kid scene in Singapore has slowed down in recent years? I mean, might have a lot more of this, but I really want to go deeper. And we went through this period called COVID, which I'm sure brought a nice uptick to the business as well.
Yeah.
And how has it changed right now? So this question is really, how much do you think has changed since you started?
I think COVID changes a lot of things. COVID was good for that 1 year, in the lockdown period, when a lot of people actually took the opportunity to enjoy the hobby again, because a lot of people can work from home, or they lost their job, or whether that 1 year was there was a hype of this hobby coming back, and then 2024 onwards, everything went down.
2024.
Everything changes.
Okay.
People are struggling for their job. Those who have a job are overloaded. Those who lost their job are in fear. All these things. I don't want to say. Everybody knows this thing. The whole economy now is in a very chaotic state. So definitely, come to this hobby, it hurts a lot. That's why I was lucky that I shifted from Sunshine Plaza over here, because the rental there was. I think if I'm there, today we don't need to do the interview.
Okay. Oh no!
Yeah, I think to move here was the best move, led by the universe to want me to continue to survive, And then we have a lot of good space for gathering, all this thing. Yeah, but then also, when COVID started, the online business, went all the way, everything online, people getting things more in a more convenient method. I mean, even myself, I love getting online, toilet rolls, heavy drinks. I don't order, I don't go Sheng Siong anymore. I don't go NTUC anymore. I go and order
delivered
online.
to your home.
Things have changed. Things have totally changed. And hobby business, most of them have shifted online. But I being very stubborn. I think I have known to be very stubborn. If I'm not stubborn, MO shop don't happen also. So I have never changed since the first day I started this hobby, this business until today. I didn't do it for money. If I want that money, my civil engineering degree can make me a lot of money. But I don't even know that what I'm going to this. I never, when I go into this hobby, when I go into this business, I don't even know how much I can make. I don't even know I can make a living. I just want to do it. That once is so powerful.
I want to focus on the word you mentioned, stubborn. But for Calvin to answer, do you really think that he's a stubborn person?
Yes and no lah. For him, it's a double-edged sword, right? So stubbornness, I think, is also sometimes it's a negative connotation. I think maybe for him, the more suitable term is resilient.
Okay.
All right, it's different from stubborn, resilient. So I think that's a quality that makes Bernard. And I think there's something very, it would be a great thing that Bernard can, or rather, a lot of our youngsters can pick that up and develop that thick hide, to be resilient.
Do you see that these days, especially after COVID, speaking to people and the people in the hobby, do you think they are resilient?
Well, it depends. There are people who fall out from the hobby. And there are some of these people who fall out from the hobby, right, or stop doing this, actually they have a lot of talent. Because they do show great spark at the beginning. But then after a while, it wanes off. Because they don't have the resilience.
Okay.
Because if you see, as I said, consistency, you need to have consistency and you need to be resilient. That's our key things. In terms of this hobby itself, right, it does build a lot of intangible qualities, innate qualities that will pay dividends much later. So as I gave the example earlier, those people who, like, say for example, as a young child, maybe they're crazy about maybe F-15 plane, right, fighter. And then gradually they find out more about F-15, they're obsessed with everything about F-15. They build the model kit F-15, they collect all the video, cards, everything, even have like posters of it.
A true nerd and otaku.
It's very true, otaku. Yeah, they do super deep dive, not just deep dive, really super deep dive into the subject matter, and then say, hey, I want to work with F-15. Tell me what I need to get there. Say, oh, go aerospace. Oh, right, okay, then you study hard. You try to ace your exams, everything for O-level, so you go and get into the uni, get your university, and finally you got a chance. Wow, I can work for McDonald Douglas. Oh, right, the company that manufactures.
Not the fast food company.
Oh, McDonald. That's why I say McDonald Douglas is very different. Right. So they make they manage to get in there, and then they're living their dream. And the thing is that they may not be building models, but the thing is that was the entry point. That was the entry point. To be first as a child, be fascinated by the box art and see, wow, this is a fantastic looking, jet. Then from there, it creates a domino effect, and you realize they can create a meaningful lifestyle, or rather a meaningful life. They live a meaningful life, have meaningful careers.
We see from your conversation, I see a lot of successes. But what is the point that is breaking for most people? That makes them leave the hobby.
Well, the main thing is basically, as I said, all disappointment comes from expectations. It's expectations. What are your expectations? You see, you don't understand. Happiness, it's happiness. It ensues. This is from Viktor Frankl. It's what happens after you do something. People are just chasing happiness. They say, I need to be happy. But what exactly is happiness?
And what makes you happy?
Yeah, exactly. Instead, so you need to focus on the activity or whatever you want to achieve, your meaning, find your meaning. And from there, happiness is an end, it's a side effect. It's not the end all.
Okay.
Right? That's why it says ensues. So if you build a model, you say, I want to build a model to become happy. And it's so frustrating, all this kind of thing. But once you complete it, you know that you're going to be happy because once it is, as I said, it is what ensues.
Okay. Very, very philosophical. Okay. Next question, generally, for Bernard. We have talked about our Southeast Asian neighbours and how has the modelling scene here compared to other countries, such as our neighbour Malaysia? Are we leading or are we falling behind? I would really want to go deep into this question because If it's superficial, I don't think really people get
Okay,
much
so
value.
maybe I can answer that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
answer that.
Answer better.
Okay, because this is the hobby. It's not about GDP.
Okay.
Okay, you are saying that you're asking me, you think Malaysians are more happier than Singaporeans? Or Singaporeans are happier than Malaysians? You're asking that how much? There is no measure. So you talk about the scene. In a sense, it's also a very abstract question. What is your reference? All right, what's the unit of measure? Okay, we are thinking of better. What do you mean by better? Are they building more model kits? Are they buying more? Or are they having more like awards when they go overseas in terms of this? So as a hobby, as I said, right, I don't think it's right to frame it in that sense. Because ultimately, right, this is not a competition, it's a hobby.
Okay.
All right. So at the end of the day, if you try to it is not Olympic sport.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people conflate it with Olympic sport. Right? It's not. It is just for your own betterment.
Okay.
That's it.
Do you feel, where do you feel that this competitiveness actually comes in about? Oh wow, these Malaysians are doing this, these Indonesians are doing
I
this.
think it's because of contest. The word contest. Because once you put into contest, right, it becomes very different. It means it's all about one-upmanship. And once you engage into one-upmanship sort of mentality, then it's like, okay, we got to get aggressive. All right? And we got to get aggressive, guess what? Then you get burnout already.
Okay.
All right? You say, hey, I got to earn more than you. You got to keep up the Joneses. All right? Wow, they just bought this new SUV. No, we got to get a bigger one. How many cc they got? Okay, we just make sure our cc is higher than theirs. You got a bigger car, make sure I got a bigger car than you, I got a bigger house than you. So you got this sort of thing. And the problem is that once it creeps into your fun, you're so fun. Oh, you have so much fun. I got to have more fun than you.
More fun than you.
It's like it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
Have you encountered people like this before?
Always.
How will you describe them?
No, like just human, I think. But I always tell people, I always tell my customer or my fellow modeler friends, we didn't pick this hobby because we want to compete. You know, the first thing we choose this hobby is so because we love it. What happened? What makes us went so complicated, you know? Yeah, so I mean, like I said, contest, competition, they're all backed up by a lot of commercial factor. Because, you know, brand to brand, they want to make their brand big. So the best way to do is to do competition, you know, give prizes, you know, all these things, let people fight, you know, then they are just let
Become tribal.
Yeah, but let's say, like I said, I'm over that already. You know, I just want to go back to the most purest state of this. You just want to make things and be happy.
Is it possible?
Okay, so the thing about contest, right, is, as I said, it's also a double-edged sword. Because with contest, right, it brings out the spirit of competitiveness. But that has to be tempered, right? Has to be tempered. I think the problem is when ego and greed comes into play. It gets contaminated with ego and greed.
No, that's human.
That's why I say end of the day, it's human. These are human qualities. But they can also be managed. I get to see a human being that's not really competitive or, you know, we all have that. It's just how well can we suppress it?
Yeah.
That's the discipline. Okay. All right. So it's what you say the Chinese call it 修养.
Recognize and cultivate.
Recognize, cultivate is our own cultivation, but also how much basically that's how it shows how evolved the person is. All right. Whether or not does he have mastery over himself. It's all about this.
Wow, mastery over himself.
Yes. All right. This is about your own mastery over yourself. So as I said with competition, right, the purpose of competition is to bring out excellence. The word is excellence. But as I said, once greed, competitiveness, pride, ego, all this comes in the picture, right, then it sours everything. It corrupts the whole thing. And we see that time after time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned all these qualities, competitiveness, greed, ego. How does this sync with you as a person, maybe later Bernard also? And how do you recognize, I was saying, the role of imperfection and patience in your work?
The work, as I said, it depends on your intent. The intent is important. If it's about your own betterment and all this, and you're doing it just purely for fun, you're not for the contest, purely for your own fun, right? The work will come out differently. All right? And you find that, you know, your own struggles, you are responsible for your own struggles. Your own, Chinese one saying lah, 那个星光不借他人火.
I have to Google that.
Okay, Google. 星光不借
Chat need to put marker for me.
Okay, alright. So I said, 星光不借他人火，制造乾坤步步明. So basically, it's your own destiny. Don't borrow other people's light. Your own light. Your 星光 is your own light. Okay, don't borrow other people's light. Okay, forge your own destiny. When you forge your own destiny, every step will be bright. And that's what it means.
Okay.
To go on your own. So as I said, you have to understand that it's your own journey, own personal journey. And sometimes you can see whatever you have inside of you will spill out. It's not what happens, it's how you react or how you respond when things happen to you. This hobby basically is about, as I said, it should be like the betterment of people. As I said, it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
All right. One end you see, wow, excellence, beauty in humanity, and then the other end you see some ugliness as well. It's just all about how you manage it.
Bernard, you mentioned prior to meeting Calvin, you weren't winning much competitions, but after that, things changed. You all forged a very strong friendship. Did that ever come true that you felt very bitter by not winning competitions, and then eventually when you started winning, they become very competitive for you?
Actually, I have to be very real that I love this hobby very, very naively, or I just love this hobby. And winning is just like kind of like a peer pressure that there's a competition, people want to win, I win. Then, but I see that more and more. Okay, if I continue to want to win competition, I don't think I can continue MO Shop also.
Okay.
MO Shop is for me to give it back to the community with whatever little skill I have. I'm not a great modelist, but I think I know the pain to struggle. So I always tell people very simple. I'm like a runway. He's like a fighter jet lah.
Okay.
He's always flying, doing all the beautiful stuff. But I'm always that runway that I want to help people to take off safely, confidently. I think ask every pilot. The taking off, the taking off and the landing is always the most dangerous, the most difficult part. But I don't know why. Just in me that I want to help everybody who pick out this hobby to take off safely. And then I just want to enjoy, like someone on the runway, and enjoy their flying. So sometimes, yes, I would say, people ask me what is my biggest regret in starting MO Shop. I said I lost myself lah. I lost my hobby. I lost what I love. I love to make model, but the business itself is so heavy on me. And then I have this kind of burden. This kind of like responsibility I give myself that I don't know, as long as my life, I don't want to see this community dry up, I want to make this community vibrant. A lot of people, sorry to say that, man, a lot of people like to judge me. But I'm not a god, I'm not a superman. I'm just a very simple person who started a very simple business and just want to do a very simple thing. I give everything. Maybe my 100% is not everybody's 100%. Maybe I'm just 20% of other people. But my 20% is my 100%. But I know I touch my heart, that I give it. And I really love it. And until today, I'm still doing it. Why I say I'm stubborn earlier, everybody asked me to open an online shop. I only have so much time in life, I only have 24 hours in everybody has 24 hours a day.
Okay.
If I take up hours to manage the online store, to do all the behind the scene thing, you will never see me doing 20 over event this year. This is very new. If I want that money, yes, online shop is all about money. I have learned to live very simple. I don't need a glamorous life, but I need a purposeful life. I need a driven purpose life. And modeling is just my life. So I still do. That's why I said a lot of people say, hey, if you don't do online, right, maybe you cannot make it anymore. I said, okay, let it be lah. I mean, I pangkang lor. I get retrenched from the society, I get retrenched from the universe, but I touch my heart. I have never betrayed myself. I never betray even my modeling community. Just that I'm not, maybe to some point, I'm not good enough for some people. But actually, when I look back, there's only that 80-20 rules. I always love the 80-20 rule.
Pareto principle.
20% are the people who find fault in you. But I forget, why should I tender them when 80% of people are still enjoying what I'm doing for them? That's why for the past few years, I created a very simple word for myself because I have a lot of struggle. So the word, ASAP, in the real world, ASAP is as soon as possible. I convert it to as simple as possible, as slow as possible. I can slow down my lifestyle. I can do very minimum, but I just want to just continue what I believe in and enjoy. Also, I think MO Shop is something that I created for me to enjoy also. I really enjoy, running events for fellow modelers. I really enjoy looking at people's work, Yeah, so sometimes I joke to my, my fellow modeler. I said, I do all these things for you to make nice model for me to enjoy. Although I cannot make, I don't want to be sour like, hey, I make sure you all don't make also. No, I do the other way around.
Okay.
I want to give everything I have to them so that they can create and I can be happy also. It's a win-win thing. Yeah, I lose a little bit, it's okay. But one day I still wish that I can retire from this and go back and be a modeler again. That's, I think, the last dream.
What brings you Zen these days?
Most people in Singapore like to invest in wealth. I invest in health.
Okay.
My Zen comes from my exercise. I do a lot of, I go in the nature a lot. I hike a lot. I go to the sea a lot. I kayak.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a very nature person. So, although I said, actually I had the time to do model, but sorry, every day I'm doing this, I need a break. So my break is always reconnect back to nature and recharging from the nature. Yeah.
How about you, Calvin?
For me, it's very obvious. I build models.
That's your Zen.
That's Zen really. I'm not doing this professionally.
Yeah.
I'm not doing professionally. I'm not doing this competitively. I'm not doing professional. This has always been true and authentic since I was young. That's the answer.
So I'll say this really ties into the part where there's no expectations in some ways.
No, there's no expectation.
That's why you can really bring and put yourself into it.
This is, for me, this is purely recreation. This is what he does with the kayaking and hiking and all the nature and exercise. That's modeling is that for me.
Okay.
And that's what he has said, just to sum it up nicely. He's just providing everybody else that sort of opportunity and resources for them to find their Zen. Because he has found his Zen. He also has an enterprise, and that's why the enterprise works in a sense, because he helps to provide the Zen for others as well. So in a sense, as long as the main thing is that there is a balance.
For Calvin actually, do you think Singaporeans are enthusiastic about miniature painting as hobbyists in other countries? Whether it's miniature models, Warhammer, or other types?
I think the interest has always been there, but they may translate into other, platforms. So you say that, no one's interested in military history. Actually, it's incorrect. There are a lot of people who are interested in military history, except they rather express it through Call of Duty.
Okay.
All right. It's because there was no Call of Duty back in our time. But I can say also, let's say, for example, if growing up, if there wasn't a model shop, it was like a PlayStation shop, I think my life would be totally different as well. I think the people who are still doing this, is connected by a sense of nostalgia. And you realize a lot of them are all like us, all working professional adults already. But every time we build a model kit, right, there's that childlike quality that comes out. You build a model kit, after a point you got a tank, then you start to make noise. That is, you really see you're in the state of flow. Alright, you build an aircraft, then you start to make the jet sound. You do a Gundam robot, you start to make the mechanical sound. It happens. And that's where you are in a state of flow and a state of joy. And then that's what the hobby connects us to. And I think a lot of youngsters, if they know that, it'll be very different from just playing games.
I told my wife the other day, men don't grow up, just that their toys differ.
Yeah, I totally, that's exactly. There was always a child desperately trying to break out of this adult shell.
Do you see how Singaporeans approach, like say, when it comes to the miniature painting, right? How does it differ from people in Japan, people in Malaysia? What's your observation?
All right. So I think it's not really. I don't think it's the issue with nationality. At the end of the day, right, when you get together for the Shizuoka show, you realize that even though we have never met each other before, we don't speak the same language, you have different upbringing and cultures and all this, right? You will still see a common thread that ties us together. So I don't think that it's not like food. Hey, what's the difference between Japanese food and... Because ultimately, you look at all the kids all from Japan. And then if you go to like all these contests, you can see more or less it's pretty similar. There's something very homogeneous about it. All right? And I think that's something that's very interesting that I've observed.
So you're saying that while there's not so much nationalities, actually most people are more common than...
Yes, correct. There's a very unifying factor, because everybody, right, will see the same thing, right, to a very strange way, different but yet alike.
That's a good point. How will you be able to distinguish between this model was made by Singaporean versus this model was made by
Japanese?
Japanese?
You can't. You can't.
No.
Okay? It's not like food. You taste really, there's a flavor there. But with models, right, it's very different because, right, what you are looking at is not a societal, cultural sort of entity. This is to do with your own personal journey.
Yeah.
And so basically everybody's happiness, you will see everything goes down, distills down to a level of happiness. Everybody in the state of Zen, and that is universal. And you see the universal quality, right, in a lot of the models. That's why it's very difficult to say that, oh, this is done by Taiwanese. You only know if it's done by Taiwanese if you look at the flip, the card, Chinese name there, you know it by Taiwanese. That's the only way.
So if you do judging, it's just the model and then you do not know.
It's purely democratic.
Democratic.
You look at the piece, you read it, you can see for what it is already. Alright? If you listen to a jazz ensemble, you ask yourself, okay, guess, is it a Japanese who played it or Austrian who played it? Say, I don't know.
It doesn't matter, it sounds
doesn't
good.
matter. It sounds about the same because it's another human being behind basically the instrument. Right? So a model kit is also the same thing.
What was your experience, how was your experience like when you bring in a foreigner who comes into this store versus a Singaporean?
Nothing special.
Nothing special. The questions that they ask, are they any different?
Oh, then if you say that, then I will say that our education system definitely has a bit of difference with the other country. We are very academic, or in a way, like I said, we are very boxed up. The thing that I've been trying to advocate for the past few years is about creativity, which is very difficult. You know, people dare not make decisions. People buy the model kit, they want to follow instruction closely, you know, paint by numbers. Okay. And yeah, but I can't blame them because we have been, programmed to be like that since young, to follow instructions. But I tell them, when you come to this hobby is about yourself, about creativity. Why not let loose yourself and go crazy, try different things, So that has been always, for the past few years, my objective, my purpose, to people out from their box and using this hobby as a platform to refine themselves, to find back their original self. Yeah.
So you're saying that most, say, Singaporeans at home, we're very binary. There's a right and there's a wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a more right. Then
like
there's no in between.
If I say that gut is green color, then everybody will stick to green. I say, why can't you do purple? Why can't you do blue color? It's your army, your Gundams. You are the pilot. Why don't you change color? And they say all the winning pieces or all the highlighter pieces are always the pieces that changes the color, changes the style. Why not?
Also, as I say, on that note, it also depends on subject matters, and also at the same time, it also depends on the intent of the person. Because some people just want a replica of what's there, right? So as I said, we may not disagree, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. We may disagree, right? We may disagree, but it means you're wrong. So it's actually up to them. So basically for Bernard, right, he will attract a certain demographic of people who are perhaps a bit more freestyle, want to do freestyle, leaning towards freestyling. Okay. Then there's also another genre that basically, I want all the colors to be matched. Because I want to write a report. Nothing wrong with that also, report. So that's it. Back to your question just now we were talking about. Say, hey, what makes the shop so different? They look the same, but it feels different, right? Also the type of people as well. There's a philosophy, the governing philosophy, and basically the mission statement of the enterprise.
And that actually goes into the very good question. We're talking about the colors and all that. For Calvin, what inspires you in sculpting figures or conceptualizing a diorama? Now, do your creations mainly draw from historical events, or are they primarily products of your imagination?
The thing is that they are inspired by historical events. The thing is about all these historical events, right? Apart from just from photos, it's also a lot of reading. And I think with a lot of people, they don't understand why reading is hard. It's because reading requires a lot of processing power, mental processing power, to convert words into images. And that's in the mind, and that's where imagination comes from. Yeah. And the deficiency in today's society is that everything has already been forged online. You see everything's all visuals. You can't imagine anymore. Peter Jackson, for example, already told you how to think about Lord of the Rings already. There is no way you can unthink it anymore. You cannot unsee that anymore. You cannot unsee it anymore. So itself, that's where the problem is. But before Peter Jackson, basically if you are reading the whole entire trilogy from Tolkien, you will know that, you have to imagine your own characters in your head. You will have a different take. And that's the thing. So for me, you've got to evoke your own imagination. You've got to read. Read on historical accounts and all this kind of thing and imagine what was it like. And then from the imagination, find out what's the way to sort of present this story in your own words.
How would you say apart from reading itself, while you're reading the process, how do you strengthen that muscle to help you improve your imagination?
Well, read more lah.
Read more, just read more.
Read more lah. The problem with all people think about reading is that they will say, oh, must read more. The question is that you can also read garbage, you know, and your mind will fill with garbage. Or you can read things that are meaningful and can inspire.
Okay.
You see or not? Because ultimately why all these books they are basically packets of information. So if you read garbage, your brain is going to fill with garbage. You read very meaningful stuff, there's something to do with humanity, and I think you become a better person, right? And what happens? You grow as a person.
Okay.
So it's the content that you absorb. Today, the content is on digital platforms, digital devices. A lot of visuals, a lot of videos and stuff like that. It's so easy to digest. It's all been pre-chewed already.
It's all fed to you.
It's all fed to you already. It's just intravenously through the screen. Right? Why? But you have that with books, it's different. It requires you to literally munch and then digest it.
I see why people still appreciate the books, the hobby books, to really flip.
Yeah.
Really
You got to, and you have to read as well. Because there's all everything with captions.
Going back to Bernard, we're going to wrap up very soon already. We talk about community, patience, and purpose. How do you feel that community and events and your place keeps the hobby alive?
Without the competition part, I keep encouraging people to, start something, do something, and then we learn along the way. Even those who, I mean, through the views years, right, I see those who love this hobby, right, have very, no expectation. They just love making and and I learn from them actually. Actually, I learned a lot from people who I neglected when I was in the year of Elysium. The people like to label me like my first 10 years, because I send people to competition. They say workshop is a very elite workshop. Yeah, okay, it's true. Yeah, the time, because I always want to focus on that. Then now I go the other way around. I start to look at people whose work that I don't really focus on. And I say, hey, I learn a lot of things from them. Last time I have, for example, I dislike people who build a Gundam without painting. They just draw a panel line and then flat code. And now I actually learn from another guy who built beautiful Gundam by doing that, but he add on, additional color here and there to make it. But what I go in is I feel I really understand their love of this hobby. So I actually went all the way back to zero and learn why is this hobby happy, Yeah, that's why I said, no, don't compete anymore. Just do whatever you are. Yeah, especially, like I say, Singapore is a very stressful country. Don't make your hobby add stress to you. Let the hobby be an outlet that you can actually find yourself. Every modeler know the moment. Let's say, as example, 10 o'clock you start your beat fixing. The next moment you look at your watch, it's 12 o'clock. Then you cannot finish. You still have to push. Normally you would push like 2-3 a.m. But that 5 hours or 3 to 5 hours of time, right, it's like a very magical moment, like
Very time well spent.
Yeah, you just block out the whole world, you and yourself and your model. Yeah, it's what's so magical about this. It's like meditation, but using your hand, Yeah.
Based on what we have had a conversation so far, how do between the two of you find the balance? Bernard's the business, I would say, if you put into boxes, right? And then you're the art. How did you all find the harmony together?
I think for him, he services the community. For me, it's a very different perspective. It's really not about, in a sense, like I'm a bit more on the fringe, right? Because he himself, I understand for him, right, this is the enterprise for him. This is bread and butter. So he has very real concerns because, like, for example, you have to salary staff, you've got to order stock, and you've got to pay rent and all this like this. So in itself, it's very draining. So you can understand why he has to sort of escape in that sense.
Into nature
And recharge himself. Otherwise, right, you'll be totally depleted. So that's also one of the reasons why I don't do this professionally. For the very same reason. Because for him, he went in early, do a deep dive and decided to make this his profession. I did not. For me, I became an educator. So for me, I'm just basically anyone who just walks through the door, I want to buy a product, I'm like a customer. So in a sense, right, he helps to serve the community. So I think that is the main distinction between both of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
So and the thing is that for him, right, one thing about him is that he's able to mobilize the community. I think this is almost like a temple for the hobby.
very nice. A place where people come
Yeah, I
together.
like to joke to people. This is the church of
The church.
Church of
the
the
model
Model
disaster. I preach plastic.
Very good that you have actually described Bernard. How would you describe Alvin then?
He is like, I always tell people like he's like Jackie Chan of modeling. You know,
Minus the affair.
Minus the affair.
Exactly. He's the one that
Can't
makes
afford the
us, make us, the Asian people, very proud. You know, since young, you know, we started to like, he was started at 21, and then he started winning, you know, awards, and then leading the standards, you know, creating his special style, you know. Until today, I'm a fan of his work. I always tell people, study, come into my shop and then study Calvin's work. Study not his painting, study his whole work. You know, how he present his work, everything. So yeah, that's how I learn. I mean, I learned a lot of things through looking at his stuff, studying, observing his stuff. So very important also. I mean, everybody have their job. I take care of the community, but I cannot have standard like him. You know, then there was a time that when I was doing the elite teaching, right? Actually, I didn't teach the elite. Actually, eventually, when my student take off from the runway, right, they're all passing to him. He was the one who guide them how to do the
I have
acrobatic.
passed on as much as I can.
Yeah,
You need to
because
find.
I know myself, my limit, you know, but I just love to help people, you know, to go to the next stage, and then after that, you know, those who are good enough to be. Because in order to understand his instruction, you need a certain level of experience also.
Okay.
If not, you'll be like, what is Calvin saying? You know, so difficult, so chim, you know.
If you were to say to observe Calvin's art model kits, what's the first thing that you would recommend people to really take note of, and how to appreciate it?
I call him the master of basing.
Master of basing.
Basing. So what happened is, you know, presentation. I would say
Okay.
master of presentation. I mean, in the general term, it's like figure painting. He's the master of figure painting. But you look, figure painting. Everybody, all the master in the world. There's many masters. It's like everybody know how to fight. You know, or you know how to run. But why is he the one that stands up? Because his presentation of his figure is like, wow, every piece is so song along. I said, wow. You're just like, wow, again, and then look, wow.
There's no words to
and
describe.
He pushed the boundary. Put it, I tell my modeler, I said, look at Calvin's work. He never do realistic stuff. Everything he do, he pushed the limit to bring very playful. Where the soldiers stand is where I dare not stand.
Okay.
You know, but to pose like, wow, very sucky. Stand on the track, stand on the wheel, stand on the crate, mountain of crates. You dare to go and stand. But it makes that movie poster thing, you know, wow. That hero, right? That wow. So he dared to push the boundary. Where a lot of people say, no, this thing, no. Too much. A lot of models are just putting too much rule on themselves, and then they lost the fun, no. So like I say, he makes me-3 modeling fun.
So last serious question. Where do you hope to see the next generation for this craft? Maybe start with Bernard first.
Actually, I really don't know. I don't have an answer question. All I can say is I just want this hobby to be a therapy for people to find as a channel to distress, and it's a very beautiful hobby to distress. Because to hope that the young generation can come back or to pick up this, it's like, you know, trying to not just escape tsunami. You know, it's like trying to swim against a tsunami. You know, how? I mean, with the social media, with the visual thing, with the AI thing, everything start coming in. Unless one day you go back to Stone Age, you know. That's why I say I'm practicing semi-retirement with being analog. I mean, yes, it's essential. You need a Wi-Fi, you need data, everything. But how about one day, if the internet goes down, you know, no more social media, I think I'll be the one smiling because I'm in the jungle, I'm in the sea, I'm doing my model. I don't even need to see anything. I just back to myself. I'm a human. I have my hands, you know, I have my paints, I have my brush, and everything is analog. I want to be like that, and this hobby can be like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Calvin, where do you see it for the next generation?
I don't have a time machine. Neither am I able to sort of travel through time and imagine. So I won't have any expectation because that will lead to disappointment.
Definitely.
Right? Whatever it is, I'll do is I will live in the now. Right? Whatever I do, anyone who approaches me is very keen to sort of, you know, become a better person through the hobby. And that's it. That's something I can help you to do. All right? As I said, and whatever happens after that, right, it's up to the person. Right? That's all.
That's
See?
all.
Yeah, very simple.
Very poignant.
So much thing we cannot control. We can only
Whatever,
control
as I said, you said, forget about controlling. All right, the main thing is to master yourself. So as I said, when I interact with a lot of people, all right, who have come into contact, who sort of want to learn stuff, right? It's all about controlling themselves, mastering their abilities, and then also restrain their demons.
Which we started off earlier.
Yeah,
knowing
correct.
Your ego, your
Your
pride.
ego, all these are all your demons. Everybody has that. All this all in the back seat. So it's how well you sort of control it. That's it.
So were you saying that your wish for the community is that everyone will eventually know how to control their demons?
At the end of the day, right, just to sum it up, simply just be a better person.
Okay.
It's just very, very, very fun.
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, as much as possible. Sometimes you have to. But at the end of the day, just be a better person and build a better world. That's it.
Okay. Very, very nice. This series, I'm going to wrap here. So this series is called I Know a Guy. I'm not sure if you guys had discussed this question. Who is the next guy I should be speaking to? Do you have a common person or you all want to tell me individually?
What happened to Alvin Lee, the guy, the reenactor? I think he interviewed a long times already.
Who's Alvin Lee?
Okay, I can introduce him.
Who's this guy? Can you tell me?
He's part of the community. It's okay. He's a reenactor, historical reenactor. He's quite prominent in that sense. He has a very extensive uniform collection. So he dresses up as soldiers and then attends a lot of events, as if with Safra and all this.
Okay.
And he uses all these costumes, right, to basically teach history. All right.
Is he educated as well?
He is, I think he's the head of social science department at Bendemeer Secondary. I think. Yeah.
Historical cosplay.
He's been doing this forever. So ever since, I think he's in the media lots of times. You can check out. You go and I think he has a big collection, very big collection of uniforms.
Does he do models as well?
I think he does dabble a bit. But what I think what we share in common is because of the subject matter. A very interesting fellow. Yeah, and I think the last interview I saw about him is that he was interviewed by CNA. And then I think his collection is almost 250,000. He spent almost about 250,000 on his hobby itself. So that itself, the amount really can get a lot of Singaporeans. Wow, 250,000. Oh, can buy car leh.
He go down deposit.
You go and sing everything into this costume and all these kind of things. So it's quite, and it's very well curated. Very well curated. I've yet to visit him. Yeah.
Alvin Lee. How do you all come into cross paths?
For me, I think it's that time with the Kids for Kids. He was there. At ITE, Kids for Kids. Yeah. So he brought his small collection of his uniforms. Most of them reproductions because the original ones, right, are extremely expensive.
Interesting. Thank you so much. I'll really check out Alvin Lee pretty soon.
Yep.
Thank you, Bernard and Calvin, for your time. Thanks for showing everyone here a glimpse into this world.
Yep.
And I'd say sharing the beauty of what small little joys modeling can actually bring you.